could there something that could very well be wonderful news when it comes to Ondo? Well, I think so, even though nothing I say is financial advice. And the reason why I think so is because not too long ago, Ondo, they made a post on X and it said that stocks, ETFs on Ethereum soon. Now, how soon? Only time will tell. And also as to the extent as to how good this will be, who knows? But in my opinion, this kind of showcases nonetheless the direction in which Ondo is heading. And from the trend that I'm seeing as of right now when it comes to this space, it feels like most often than not, people more so care about the anticipation, the hype, the story, the narrative, as opposed to what something has already achieved. Like for instance, there's many NFT projects out there, many DeFi projects out there that say they're going to do this or do that. They never really do anything, but yet still they're very popular and very famous. Their market caps in some cases are still very massive. So when it comes to this, again, this post by Ondo, if the result, let's say, is just even mediocre, let's say it just even does something, I think that could already be a good enough kind of positive sentiment for the space overall. Because what I don't like seeing is that if I believe in a project and then they don't really update, they don't really do anything, it's kind of disappointing for me. However, if a project is constantly kind of updating and showcasing what they're doing to the community, that is something that I do like. So at the end of the day, even though there's a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to this, at least personally for me, I still think it is wonderful news nonetheless when it comes to Ondo. Now, some people out there, they may be thinking, oh yeah, but Ondo is kind of a bad project. Well, I disagree with that. And even though, again, nothing I say is financial advice, $20, that wouldn't be surprising to me if Ondo were to maybe hypothetically reach that. And I think a major reason why I think Ondo has good fundamentals is because we have to consider how RWAs, they're beginning to kind of become a big narrative as of right now. Now, what do I mean by RWA? Stands for real world asset. And Ondo, they're arguably heavily focused on RWAs. Now, let me give some examples of RWA tokens, for instance. RWA tokens, they are digital representations of physical assets on the blockchain. Like, so for instance, they can be used for market sectors such as, real estate, art, bonds, stocks. I think it kind of showcases that when it comes to RWA tokens, there's a lot of possibilities there. Now, again, when it comes to what Ondo posted on this, who knows how it will kind of relate with the whole vibe of Ondo overall, like being heavily focused on RWAs and whatnot. But I still like this nonetheless, and we'll have to wait and see. But I'm still very excited because soon, again, it's kind of ambiguous how soon, but still, I am looking forward to it. Now, even besides that point, though, if we take a look at Ondo, I also think arguably it's one of these premier projects that are, in the decentralized finance space, I would say. And in decentralized finance, aka DeFi, there is some predictions out there. Like, for instance, according to Grandview Research, the DeFi market is expected to be worth over $200 billion by 2030. So I think that's a pretty big market size, maybe, right? If it were to, let's say, reach that. So overall, I think Ondo is really something that I don't want to not pay attention to because I think its fundamentals are solid. I think exchange listings are pretty decent. I like the community. I think it's very passionate. Not to mention, I also think that when it comes to Ondo, I think a major catalyst maybe for it moving forward is also something called Ondo Chain. Now, when it comes to Ondo Chain, I mean, there's still a lot of unanswered questions for me too when it comes to that. Like, I'll have to wait and see. As time goes on, I can only really kind of evaluate it that way, in my opinion, because it just feels a little bit like I can't really evaluate it fully as of right now. But I still kind of like the concept because, for instance, when it comes to Ondo Chain, it's allegedly purpose-built for institutional-grade RWAs. And again, I just recently talked about RWAs. So, yeah, I think, again, it's pretty cool. Now, let's not forget as well, Ondo is also arguably focused on the payments market and as well as the global trade and finance market. Now, these are two markets that Ripple and Stellar, they're heavily focused on that. If we take a look at the payments market, it's currently valued at over $2 trillion currently. And just to put some kind of perspective into this, let's take a look at the AI market, which is predicted to reach nearly $2 trillion by 2030, yet again, according to Grandview Research. But then again, the payments market is already over $2 trillion in value allegedly currently. It doesn't have to wait, let's say, another 5 years. So when people say AI is a massive market, I do agree with that. But then we have to also take a look at when it comes to payments. Arguably, I think it's already very massive as of right now. Not to mention, we take a look at the global trade and finance market, which according to Mordor Intelligence, by 2028 is predicted to reach up to $5 trillion in value. So I can't really say that Ondo is focused on bad markets. I think it's actually pretty decent. And not to mention, some people out there, they like to say, oh, but Ondo's market cap is too massive. And I agree, it's not a micro cap or anything like that. But then at the same time, it's not like a Bitcoin or Ethereum status where it's just like, the market cap is just very massive. I mean, the way you take a look at it is this. If Ethereum were to maybe go to 10 grand, okay, slightly over 3x from here. If we take a look at Bitcoin going to 300 grand, slightly under 3x from here. I mean, I just wouldn't want to believe in that personally for me as of right now because, sure, Bitcoin historically, we can see the price charts, right? It's done hypothetically very good, but then at the same time, it just recently hit a new all-time high, and it's still kind of in this all-time high range, so to speak. But at the same time, again, do I want to believe in something that just recently hit a new all-time high as opposed to something like, an altcoin maybe that hasn't kind of done that hypothetically yet as of late? So again, when people ask me Ondo, Ethereum, or Bitcoin, now I'm not saying on anyone's behalf, by the way, I can only speak personally for me, but if I was given those three options, I'm going to have to choose Ondo because I just think that it's more unique for me. I like the market cap, which again, it's not too massive, but then it's not like too small either. So I don't mind that. And not to mention, when I take a look at $20, that is around a 22x from here. If it were to, let's say, not even reach $20, let's say just $10, that's still like slightly over a 10x from here. I don't know if Ethereum with the market cap that it has, with Bitcoin again with the market cap that it has, can it do that in the next 6 to 10 months? I don't feel confident in that, right? So in my opinion, again, that's not just something I want to focus on. And keep in mind, Ondo at the price of $20, considering current circulating supply, market cap at that point would be around $63 billion, still around $20 billion less than Dogecoin's all-time high market cap back in 2021. And keep in mind, we're in 2025 right now. 2021 was years ago. So, with over 600 million crypto owners currently, allegedly, which we do have as of right now, why would I think that this is unrealistic? This is just my point of view, though. Only time will tell. But in the meantime, I am going to stay patient, hold, and I just wait because literally that is the only thing I can do as of right now. I mean, beyond that, I cannot demand this to do that or whatever. I can't do that. So I'm just going to stay patient because if, let's say, we do see that Bitcoin dominance drop, let's say we do maybe see a fully fledged type of altcoin season, which all indicators, by the way, are showcasing that when it comes to the Bitcoin dominance, it is so high, right? And sure, could it go maybe higher? Who knows? But what happens if it goes down and we see a fully fledged type of altcoin season? At that point, I don't see why I would not want to believe in the future of altcoins just personally for me. This is why I'm still staying patient. But again, that is the only thing I can control. But in the meantime, I'm excited when it comes to Ondo. I'm paying attention to the updates, and I'm excited to see what they exactly mean by that post on X. Only time will tell, but again, I'm very excited, and I'm still going to stay patient. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I would greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch you all in the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.